This is Rogers TV.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So just a little bit of personal stuff, just throwing it out there so you are aware of. I am looking for 3 new personal training clients. So if you're interested in working with me 2 or 3 times a week, you can send me a message. You can go to my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca, or connect with me on any of my social media channels. You can book me for energy healing sessions and psychic mediumship readings, or even parties. So now that I got that underway, we have an excellent show today. Kim Mortson will be on the show talking about her journey with Parkinson's disease. She actually had an opportunity to have DBS surgery, which has been life-changing for her. So we'll be talking about all that. So stick around. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Bless you.
Hello, I'm Judy Tate, host and producer of At the Heart of Business. Join me each week as we speak with women in business about their challenges and their successes. At the Heart of Business, right here on Rogers TV Durham.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I have Kim Mortson from Body Design. So Kim, I have known you for a number of years. You were a personal trainer, certified fitness instructor. You have had a flourishing business for a number of years. Mm-hmm. And so today you're on the show talking about Parkinson's. So you were diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2018?
That's correct.
Okay, I would like to know, how did you discover that? What were the symptoms that started to come up? And you know what, I want to back up for a second. I first want to thank you so much for coming on the show and having the courage to talk about what you have been going through in regards to Parkinson's and your desire to help educate. So I think it's fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll address your question.
Okay.
I was a runner. I've been a personal trainer now for over 20 years, and I got into running before I started personal training. And I was out running, and next thing you know, my left foot would turn in and over. And this was a mystery. I couldn't understand why it was happening. And of course, being, sort of curious about what was going on and wanting to fix it because I wanted to continue running. Mm-hmm. I went to massage therapists, I went to an athletic doctor, I went to a chiropractor, I went to a foot specialist, I went to my doctor. And over the period of about 3 years, I went to a variety of different healthcare professionals seeking answers because this foot thing wouldn't go away. It wouldn't go away. But then I was starting to notice other things that were happening. So when I was typing on my keyboard, my left hand, my fingers would get very stiff, and then next thing you know, I was making all kinds of mistakes when I was typing. I was washing my hair, and of course when you wash your hair, you're rubbing the shampoo on your head, and I realized, oh my gosh, it's the right hand that's doing all the work. The left hand was doing nothing at all. I had an athletic therapist at the time who was on our team, and we were out walking one day, and she noticed when I was walking, my left arm did not swing. So all around, as I said, it was 3 years. Towards the end of that 3-year period, my family were looking for a new family doctor. And we found a new family doctor, and as part of his protocol, he sent me for a whole lot of tests, but I was telling him what was happening, and he referred me to a neurologist. And this was the second neurologist that I had seen. The first neurologist had diagnosed it as a pinched nerve in my back. Either way, this second neurologist, I went into his office, and I wasn't in his office 10 minutes. And he said to me, "You have Parkinson's disease." I was 57 at the time. I had no idea what Parkinson's disease was. We had no relatives that had it. I had no family members that had it. And so, of course, on the way home, I'm looking up on Google, what is Parkinson's disease? And unfortunately, some of the stuff that comes up on the internet isn't the best. And I was going, oh my goodness. And thus started the journey of Parkinson's. Wow. I was very fortunate. My Parkinson's disease spread well, I guess I should backtrack also. What is Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's disease is a neurological disease. It's chronic. There's no cure. And it affects primarily men, would you believe? A lot of people think of it as an old person's disease, but now there's more and more cases of Parkinson's, and it's actually the fastest growing neurological disease in the world. And people very young can get Parkinson's disease. It's called early onset Parkinson's disease. So when you think of that, you think of Michael J. Fox. Right. He is a primary example of young onset Parkinson's disease. It's a neurological disease, as I mentioned, and what's happening is that we have dopamine. Dopamine controls our motor symptoms and actually a lot of non-motor things in our body. And your brain is no longer producing dopamine. And that's really what's happening in Parkinson's. So when your brain is no longer producing dopamine, it starts to affect lots of different systems in your body. So one of the main and obvious things are motor symptoms. So mine was this foot issue that I had going on, and the stiffness in my left arm and my left arm not swinging. It was affecting the whole entire left side of my body. And that's very typical. It either affects one side or the other side initially, and then it will spread eventually into both sides of the body. A very typical example of Parkinson's is a tremor. You see people where they're shaking. I never had tremor. I've never had tremor now I've had it, I've had it 6 years. And if you count the 3 years prior to diagnosis, I've actually had it 9 years. I do not have the tremor. What I have is dystonia, and dystonia is the muscle stiffness that I get in the left side of my body. I have also something called bradykinesia, and bradykinesia is slowness. When I'm in between taking my meds, I can feel literally just before my meds I'm supposed to be taking my meds, everything is slowing down. My movements are slowing down, everything.
Okay, so we're going to get back. There's much more we want to talk about. We're going to talk about the DBS surgery that you had and the impact that that's made on your life. So we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Welcome to the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Stalo people. The Stalo are people of the river. I'm so thankful for the courage and resiliency of our ancestors who lived on this land since time immemorial. Each of us have gifts from the Creator, and our Creator has a plan and purpose to be fulfilled in our territory. As we embrace our traditional teachings, we can lead the next generation into the fullness of what our Creator designed. Our shared history reveals a broken relationship, but as all Canadians commit to hear truth, acknowledge injustice, we can learn to walk in our traditional way, Letsamot, with a good heart and a good mind. Then all of our lives will be enriched. Kwasai.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Kim Mortson, and we're talking about Parkinson's disease and her journey with that. And just before we went to a break, I briefly mentioned the DBS surgery. So can you give us an idea of what that is, what was involved with it, why you went for this DBS surgery, and then we'll get into how it's impacted your life.
Well, my Parkinson's symptoms, as I said, had progressed very slowly up until last spring. And then it's almost like I fell off a cliff because everything accelerated extremely fast. In fact, it got to the point where last December, the beginning of last December, I was no longer driving, and I was in a wheelchair and a walker as of last December. Wow. I was assessed at Toronto Western Hospital for DBS surgery starting last September. My neurologist had referred me to the DBS clinic down there. There's quite an extensive process to go through. They assess your cognitive abilities, there's a psychiatric test, and then there's what they call a levodopa challenge, where you go off your meds for 12 hours prior to the actual visit with the neurologist, where they really want to see how bad you really are. And then they use all of this data that they've collected from all of these assessments to determine whether you're a good candidate for DBS or not. Turned out I was, which gratefully I'm very happy about, and I had my DBS surgery on January 22nd. The DBS surgery involves literally, it's called DBS for deep brain stimulation surgery. They opened up my skull and drilled two tunnels into my brain and implanted electrodes into my brain, deep into my brain. And then there was a wire that ran down my head, down my neck. And I literally have, I guess what you'd call, it's called a stimulator, but it's like a pacemaker, and it's implanted into my chest. And this stimulator sends electrical currents through the wire up into the electrodes that are in my brain. And those electrodes now control the dopamine levels, or they mimic the dopamine levels in my brain. So what happened, I had the surgery, and the other kind of interesting thing about it is that you're awake for about half of this surgery. So I was a little concerned about that because I thought, oh my gosh, I want to be calm, I want to be relaxed, I want to go into this surgery and make sure that I have the best possible outcome that I could. So there were three components that I looked at. Number one was my physical body. I made sure I was in the best physical condition going into that surgery that I could, because I knew that would help with my healing. I knew that would help with how quickly I would heal afterwards. The second thing was I wanted to address my mental state, because I wanted to remain calm and relaxed when the neurosurgeon was asking me questions, because that's what they're doing. Can you move your fingers? Can you move your toes? As they're implanting the electrodes into your brain. Yeah. And so I outsourced the services of another lady who helped me with deep breathing techniques and meditation, and just learning how to stay calm and relaxed going into the surgery and then during the surgery. In fact, the night before the surgery, I had a full night's sleep. I was totally relaxed and calm going into that. And the third thing that I did that I thought was important was connect with my spiritual side. And so I got in touch with my God. I reached out to my minister, and she was helping me with prayers and things like that. So I had the three components: physical, spiritual, and mental. And I went into the surgery with those, as far as I was concerned, in line and alignment for me. Yeah. And I had an amazing recovery. Within a week after the surgery, I was doing gentle stretching. Within 2 weeks, I was starting Qigong to help, again, build some strength back into my body and get back into my body. And then within probably 4 to 5 weeks, I was back into doing my regular exercise routine. Again, modifications, not maybe using the weights that I would normally use. And here we are 5 months post-surgery. I can walk normally. I'm actually taken back up running. I've gotten back into running. And a lot of the symptoms that I had before have, I shouldn't say disappeared. I will never say I'm 100%, but compared to where I was in December and January and where I am now, it's life-changing. Absolutely life-changing.
That's incredible. I am so grateful that you've been able to take the surgery and change your life back. What a journey.
It was.
And what contrast you needed to go through. And you must be just in so much gratitude right now.
I live in gratitude. Those are the things that I can really say I've taken away from this experience, is living in gratitude and living in the moment.
Yeah.
I can't worry about what happened in the past. It's gone. Can't do anything to change it.
Right.
And
you are where you're at.
Exactly. And I don't want to look into the future, because this is not a cure. The DBS surgery is not a cure. My Parkinson's will continue to progress. It is a progressive disease. I know that. It will continue to progress in the background. And the DBS surgery will, they say you'll get about 10 years out of it.
Okay, so there's more we're going to talk about. When we get back from the break, we're going to be talking about the importance of community, family, and groups, and other ways to help you with yours or a family member's Parkinson's diagnosis. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Kim Mortson, and we've been talking about her journey with Parkinson's disease. We were just talking about the DBS surgery and how it has really changed your life and your ability to be able to go back to what you used to do. You're running. So throughout this journey would have been, or is, I'm sure, an emotional roller coaster with different things that you're facing, how it affects your life in different ways, and you would need a lot of support. So can you talk about how community groups have played a role, and family and neighbors, and how has that impacted you? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I cannot thank my husband more. I'm very, very grateful. I have a very loving and supportive and devoted husband. He's had his own health issues in the last number of years, but he really stepped forward in the last year, and without his I guess hand on my side, that's definitely been I've been very grateful. My kids, I have a son that lives out in Alberta, and I have another son who lives here in Ontario. They are very, very worried about their mother. I have grandchildren now, and my biggest thing was I always had dreams that I would be that active Nana, down on the ground playing with them and running around and chasing them. And last year, I lost that. I couldn't even babysit them. I couldn't, there were so many things that I couldn't do. I just didn't have the energy to spend with them. Now I can. I still have to take it in little doses, because little ones, as you know, are very energetic, but that's okay. But yeah, no, the family has been wonderful. I think the biggest thing, I got involved with Parkinson's Canada, and Parkinson's Canada has been a wonderful resource. They have really great webinars that they put on every month, educational webinars for people who have Parkinson's or caregivers for people who have Parkinson's, on a whole wide variety of topics that help build your knowledge, but also let you know that you're not alone. I also access the services of a mentor through Parkinson's Canada. This was a lady who had had DBS surgery a year ago, and I was able to reach out to her, and she was able to answer some of the questions that I had going into my surgery and sort of help prepare me a little bit more for what to expect from the surgery. My friends, oh my gosh, my friends have just been a huge support. We moved to our new community two and a half years ago, and so I have friends from the old community and sort of way back when, but I have new friends from this new community. I joined, we live in Fenelon Falls now, and there's the Fenelon Falls Ladies Wine Club, and it's not like it's not like we go and drink wine all the time, but long story short, it's a social group. That's really what it is. Yeah. And these ladies have been just terrific, and making sure that when things got very gloomy and dark last year, towards the end of the year for me and my symptoms, they were still including me in Mexican train nights, which is a dominoes game. They were, when we had my surgery, they brought food over after the surgery, knowing that I wouldn't be able to cook and things. And it was just so, I was so grateful to have those supports, the family, the community, and then of course, Parkinson's Canada there, So if someone were to ask you, all right, I have, let's say, a family member that has now been diagnosed with Parkinson's, what would you say to them in the type of support that they would need? Because I think sometimes you could be Bambi in the headlights of I don't know how what I should do. And I've heard of that, definitely. Okay. First thing I would say, reach out to Parkinson's Canada. Okay. Definitely. They have all the resources there with regards to people who have what I call legitimate information and expertise. If you go on the internet, there's a lot of, I'm going to call dubious sites and so-called cures and things like that for Parkinson's that be very wary, because there are things out there that are just not suitable for what you're doing. Make sure you also get connected with a really good neurologist, and specifically with Parkinson's, a movement disorder specialist. So a neurologist who is also a movement disorder specialist, and get yourself into a movement disorder clinic. So initially my neurologist was through Baycrest Hospital in Toronto, and then when I got hooked up with Toronto Western Hospital for my deep brain stimulation surgery, they have a full DBS and movement clinic down there that I am now a patient of theirs. Okay. So making sure that you will get yourself set up with the proper professionals, I'm going to say. The other thing, I struggled with disclosing my Parkinson's for a long time. I had a fitness business, and because this was a movement disorder, there's non-motor symptoms, but the movement disorders are what people see. Right. I was really concerned about how my Parkinson's would impact my business. So I didn't disclose things for quite a long time with my clients or my team. But I think sometimes that's not necessarily the best route to go. I think you need to tell people, because people then can be empathetic. Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry. We have to wrap it up. We could do a whole additional show on this. Yes. So Kim is available as a speaker. So if you have an event and would like her to come and talk about Parkinson's, then she can be there for you. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Stick around.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Next time on Cinema Scene, Prabjot Bains and I discuss our favorite films of the year so far.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So at the end of the show, I like to pull cards to offer some inspiration and assist us with the current energies. Now, I have set the intention that whenever you are watching this show, these will be the messages that's for your highest and greatest alignment to receive at this time. So just before the camera went on, I was shuffling from my Healing with the Angels cards, and 2 cards wanted to come out. So I'm going to bring the first card up to the camera here. So this is the Nature card. All right, so it is perfect timing for you to get out and connect with nature. So you can do this in different ways. Even being out in your backyard, in your front yard, having your shoes off. Have you heard the term grounding before? We want to get our bare feet, making sure that it's safe out there. You're not going to be hurting your feet on anything, but getting your feet into the soil, onto the grass, and do some nice deep breaths. You can think about drawing in the energy of Mother Earth up through the bottoms of your feet, coming all the way up, and as you breathe out, feel it expanding and igniting every single cell in your body. Right now, like during summer, during spring, during summer, we have there's so much vibrancy in Mother Nature. There's growth happening. There's, roots are drawing in the nourishment, and we're having leaves and flowers and all that amazing stuff. So when we're drawing that in to our own bodies, helping us with our own beautiful personal growth. Divine guidance. I'm going to bring this to the other camera again, just so you can look at that. So divine guidance. So as I'm going to take these 2 cards and bring the meaning together right now. So as you're tapping in to Mother Nature, you're tapping into that life force. This will set the stage to draw in the ideas and inspiration that is needed at this time. In the fall, we have it's harvest time. So during the spring and summer, this is where we are getting stuff done. We are taking action. We want to put energy into these ideas and inspiration to move forward. So this is prime time for growth, for personal growth, and for you to get into alignment. Getting it into alignment with the core of who you are. Going into the fall, October, November, things are really going to be picking up in that way. Thank you so much for watching, and you can check out my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca. We'll be back with more next week on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hey, Gabe, we're supposed to be at City Hall.
We're gonna build it right here.
Oh, yeah, sure. And give wetsuits to all the visitors?
No, on the water.
Hey, come on. We're talking about building something the size of 64 city blocks.
And there's no land left in Montreal.
So, get serious.
Listen, we'll build islands.
How? You dig up Montreal?
They're digging a subway, remember? You take it from there, and you put it here.
12 months and 20